Hi, I'm Don Ferguson, the producer of Florida Keys Dive Odyssey, the video series that unveils the actual GPS coordinates of the top dive sites in the Florida Keys.
The Jewfish Creek Drawbridge near mile marker 108 on the Overseas Highway crosses the Intercoastal Waterway and is the official entrance to the Florida Keys. About a mile down the road, I enter Key Largo. The Spanish named this area Cayo Largo, or Long Island, in the early 1600s. The Dive Odyssey begins at Garden Cove Marina, near mile marker 106. Garden Cove Marina offers convenient access to the upper area of the Key Largo National Marine Sanctuary, the targeted area of today's exploration. I'll be diving Turtle Reef, the Carysfort Reef system, the Elbow, and the Dry Rocks area. From Turtle, I'm heading about 3.5 miles due south to my next target, Carysfort Lighthouse. The main body of the 4-mile-long Carysfort Reef system is marked by the Carysfort Lighthouse, the oldest functioning lighthouse of its type in the United States. The disc pile foundation and open skeleton design of Carysfort Light is structurally strong while offering little resistance to the high winds and waves generated by the violent storms that pass through South Florida. This 112-foot-tall reddish-colored lighthouse has been in service since 1852 and was the first of 3 Florida Keys lighthouses built by Lieutenant George Gordon Meade of Civil War fame. Carysfort Reef got its name when the HMS Carysfort, a 20-gun British frigate, ran aground here October 23, 1770. Through the years, the name Carysfort evolved to Carysfort. Legend has it that the Carysfort Lighthouse is haunted by the ghost of Captain Johnson, a lighthouse keeper who died here in the late 1850s. Carysfort Reef is served by 13 mooring buoys. The mooring buoys surround the lighthouse, each denoting a beautiful dive site. I've encountered a pair of grunt snappers that appear to be dueling over territory. The fish with the smaller mouth submits and leaves the area. About a mile, 040 degrees north-northeast from the lighthouse, 2 mooring buoys mark the Carysfort Trench in 45 to 60 feet of water. The trench parallels the shallow reefs of the Carysfort system intermittently for about 3 miles to the south-southwest. I can easily find this continuing trench with my depth gauge. The Carysfort Trench can be a difficult, potentially dangerous dive due to the depths and unpredictable currents. Many large fish patrol these waters. The Carysfort Trench is punctuated by numerous caves and swim-throughs. In this cave, I've encountered a 350-pound jewfish. Jewfish have a rounded tail, distinguishing themselves from grouper, their smaller cousins. Slaughtered almost to extinction by the mid-1970s, jewfish are now protected throughout the Keys and are making a remarkable comeback. In an upcoming episode of GPS Adventures, I'll visit my buddy Ginger, a 250-pound Jewfish that lives on the tugboat wreck near Key West. After moving seaward into deep water, I'm skipping about 4 miles, 210 degrees south-southwest to my next target, the Elbow. The Elbow is a classic example of a spur and groove reef system. The coral fingers are separated by level passages of sand. The Elbow is marked by a 36-foot tall light tower, red number 6. The first dive site, the City of Washington wreck, is situated between the two northernmost mooring buoys in 18 to 25 feet of water. Visibility here is usually superb. The City of Washington was a 320-foot long, 38-foot wide steamer. With a top speed of 15 knots, she displaced almost 2,700 tons. She was launched in late August 1877. Originally a proud passenger ship, the City of Washington lent aid to the USS Maine after she exploded and sank in Havana, Cuba in 1898. During the ensuing Spanish-American War, the City of Washington was used as a transport ship, carrying troops and munitions. When she drifted aground on the Elbow, July 10, 1917, almost 40 years after she was launched, the City of Washington was a neglected, rusting coal barge in tow. In the 1950s, Captain Steve Clem, nicknamed the Pied Piper of Pennicamp, began a fish-feeding tradition on the City of Washington that continues today. Captain Slate and his well-trained crew take weekly excursions here to feed Psycho, the resident 4-foot Barracuda. Psycho, like most fish, seems to prefer fresh-thawed ballyhoo. Psycho is not shy and will check out any and every diver in the water for a possible handout. The friendly resident Green Moray Eels are persistent in their demands for food and will sometimes startle the unwary diver. The Green Moray's fearsome appearance is enhanced by the opening and shutting of its jaws, which contain razor-sharp teeth. This is merely an act of respiration. By opening and shutting its powerful jaws, the eel forces oxygen-rich water through its gills. In an upcoming episode of GPS Adventures, I'll visit Davis Reef near Isla Mirada and interact with several more of these magnificent predators. For both the untrained and the trained, fish feeding is a potentially dangerous water sport. If you decide to feed the fish, do so at your own risk. I'm inching over to the next site, the Tonawanda, often called the Civil War wreck. She is located about 100 yards northwest of the City of Washington. The Tonawanda is the only dark area in a sand bottom 20 feet deep, making her an easy wreck to spot. There are no mooring buoys here, so I've anchored in sand down current from the wreck. This way, if the anchor drags, it will not damage this rapidly deteriorating wreck site. The Tonawanda was 191 feet long and 30 feet wide, displacing 752 tons. A wooden vessel, she was steam and sail propelled. During this period of transition from sail to steam-powered vessels, many steamships were rigged with sails. The copper pins used to hold the ship together are easily discernible when gliding over the wreck. The Tonawanda saw action as the USS Arkansas during the Civil War. She was a blockade ship for the Union Army. The Tonawanda ran aground here on March 27, 1866, on her way from Boston to Havana with a load of freight and passengers. Elbow, I'm barreling about 3 3/4 miles, 230 degrees west-southwest to Grecian Rocks. Grecian Rocks has 12 mooring buoys and is marked by a spar. Grecian is a shallow reef with an abundance of marine life and yet another perfect site for snorkelers. Notice the tiny fish living within this moon jellyfish. These juvenile fish, with immunity to the jellyfish tentacles, are safe from larger predators. The four-leaf clover shape is the reproductive organ of the jellyfish. The last target of the day, Key Largo Dry Rocks, is about a mile 030 degrees north-northeast from Grecian. Key Largo Dry Rocks is home to the Christ of the Abyss statue, arguably the most photographed dive site in the world. Largo Dry Rocks is surrounded by 12 mooring buoys. The statue is denoted by a spar buoy in 25 feet of water. This 2-ton, 9-foot bronze statue is a duplicate of a statue in 50 feet of water near Genoa, Italy. The plaque on the base of the statue reads, "If I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea, even there your hand will lead me, and your right hand hold me fast." The Christ of the Abyss statue was dedicated in 1961 by the Underwater Society of America to all the souls that have lost their lives at sea. I hope you've enjoyed the top dive sites of Upper Key Largo. Join me next time and visit the top dive sites of Lower Key Largo. Navigators, consult your NOAA chart when heading back into Garden Cove to avoid shallow water. The Dive Odyssey continues tomorrow in Key Largo Harbor.